Hello YouTube, Bayonet Jack here. Welcome to another episode of Grand Tactician. Now first things first, I just want to say to ignore the previous update video that I had released to YouTube. I believe I figured out the problem. So if we go over here and click on Army of Pennsylvania, 69,000. So we open up their order of battle here, and First Corps. Oop, my bad. First Corps here, relatively new. 12 months. They still have 12-month contracts, so they're okay. But the Second Corps, if you remember, was originally the Department of Pennsylvania under Patterson. So they have been here since the beginning of the war in April of 1861. So when you go here, they originally had 3 months contracts. Now it says 24 months because that's the new policy. And so the situation goes that as soon as a contract expires, a percentage of men will leave the service because historically some men did not want to continue serving in the army due to woundings or they were just tired of battle. So they had every right to be honorably discharged. So as I went through and looked more closely as to why the numbers seemed to be depleted, these came up. And originally these were all 3 months contracts in early 1861. So that means in the miniature update between the past two videos, the previous one and this one now, the contracts seem to have been fixed and an actual percentage of men are leaving the service, which was the intention all along. So there is no issue. I'm just a fool that didn't look close enough before releasing a video, an update video, and everything is fine. So with that being said, the enemy is also under this new contract fix. So originally, these guys here, they're almost to 50,000. They're now down to 31,000 due to contracts. And these guys, they're about the same. I believe that they were recruiting at the time of the last video, so their men are relatively fresh. But I'm not sure about these guys. I'm not sure what their contracts are, but they are under the same rule, and you can see that by this Army of the Potomac here, because they originally had 50,000 troops. But that also means that my 50,000 man army is now 30,000, the ones that were going to launch a campaign in the peninsula. So that means I'll probably have to do some recruiting, maybe reforming. I know somewhere in the armies, one brigade only has like 600 men. This one, Seymour, they have 400 disabled, but still, that's really low. But just to play it safe, I'm not going to change anything. I believe the armies are fine where they are at. I shall continue. It is February 12th, 1862, and so far no new campaigns from the enemy or my side have been in effect yet. We know that there's one army in Missouri, and I will cut back to when any new events arise. The Confiscation Act has just been passed. Confederate property no longer respected. Contraband slaves now not returned to owners. Confederate support increases in the South. That means whenever we go down south, whatever we capture becomes ours. Supplies, farms, anything to aid us in our advances into the South. Speaking of which, one YouTuber in the comments reminded me that as I advance into enemy territory, to keep building supply depots and trying to update the ones I already have, so that way I have a supply line from my friendly states into where my armies are at, and then that way I won't lose as many supplies, or I won't suffer attrition, food loss, things like that. So thanks to whoever that was that reminded me to do that. Speaking of another YouTuber. I mentioned in the last video, campaign video, not the update video, but a certain YouTuber was going to have a brigade named after them. And let me just do that real quick, and I will show who it is and why. Okay, so here we are. We have the Army of Pennsylvania. Now, this YouTuber, I want to give him a shout out because he or she, maybe a he, but they were one of the first commenters on my YouTube channel to keep the series going and just showing support overall. And so to thank my first ever, I would assume that they subscribed already, but one of my first ever subscribers, commenters that appreciates what I'm doing, I decided to name the 1st Brigade of the 1st Division the Von Falkenstein Brigade. What a very awesome name. So I decided to choose this one because originally there were a couple regiments in New York that were of German descent, and they would name themselves after, you know, their German heritage and such. So I thought, what better way than to name this one the German Brigade, Falkenstein. Hopefully it's Falkenstein and not Falkenstein. I'm going to say it traditionally like the German way, so von Falkenstein. And so this brigade shall be remembered in the annals of history. So shout out to this person. Thanks for being one of the first, and I hope you continue to stay and enjoy my content. Now, we shall continue with the campaign. March 3rd, 1862. So far, nothing new. French invasion. General Lawrence lands with his troops. 4 troops on their way. Napoleon III to conquer Mexico. French fleets blockading the coast. So now this is the invasion of Mexico that historically took place during this time. Nothing new here, just wanted to share that. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so here's a new updated Army of the Potomac. I have made Major General Daniel Tyler. His stats are not the best, but his fame is tremendous. So that's why I'm using him. But he is now the Army Commander with Hooker as 1st Corps, which will lead to feuding because his stats are a bit better than Tyler, but I like a challenge. And Major General David Hunter in charge of 2nd Corps. And I'm going to have these brigades recruited. So in that way, they're both each 34 and 33,000 man corps. And then once they are completed, then I will be transferring them down the way and landing at Fort Monroe, and then having them head up to Richmond and see what happens. So until then, I'll probably launch the operation around May or end of April. So if nothing happens until then, that's the next thing you'll see. If not, I will keep you in tab. So be right back. As we see here, Colonel Heckman has recovered from his wounds, which is great. Even though his performance will not be the same as before due to the severity of his wounds. But I would love to get him back to where he was. Oh goodness, if I can remember what brigade that was. No, I can't remember what brigade it was. Oh well. Well, since it's April now, what I'm going to do, lots of naval battles going on around my blockades, but McClellan, he doesn't exist anymore. What was McClellan's army, Siegfried, their task is to invade into Tennessee and capture as much as they can. So with that, what better way than to just go straight into Nashville? And then we'll see what happens with the armies up here. But sometime in May, I'm going to launch the other campaign. I have a blockading squadron here just in case, but they will be landing on this peninsula right here. at Fort Monroe. Missouri is quiet. I think another issue. Glorious victory at Port Royal. Okay, great. That's what happens when you blockade. So I'm just going to rack up victory points. I'm not sure how many points that will be to demoralize the Confederacy, but it has gone down a bit. But one thing I was going to say is that I don't think they're recruiting anymore. That's one thing that the devs need to work on, is the AI implementing drafts, bounties, whatever, to keep the fight going, because they reach about one of these contracts, but they never go down and research this one, which is paramount to fighting the war. If they don't have this researched, then they're never going to be able to recruit more men. They're just going to be stuck at what they have since the war started, and that's about 159,000 minus the 71,000 casualties. So it's just, that's one thing that the devs, I think they need to work on, because if they want this game to have a long war, if someone wants to have a long war, like myself, I would love to start in 61 and go all the way to 65. But that can't happen if they stop recruiting. And then I just keep recruiting because I have the power to unlock these, which in turn unlocks many more troops for recruitment. So that's something that I believe, hopefully they are working on. I think they are, but that's something that I would like to see, is the AI implementing more recruitment status to their armies. But since they won't, I'm just going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to start launching campaigns. Because last that we saw, they were recruiting, and then they stopped. Now they have stopped. And that's it. None of them seem to be recruiting, and they're all just kind of sitting around. So, I don't know. None of the numbers have changed. I'm going to just have them be aggressive and attack the supply depot here. Here's another newspaper about the French invasion of Mexico. This is just to keep historical accuracy. I'm not too worried about it. But they will go and they will engage Standard's Corps again. I wonder if it even is Standard now. Because in that previous battle, he must have been killed or wounded. So we'll see. There they go. And then down. These guys will stay up here and keep them at bay. So one campaign going into Tennessee and the other going onto the eastern coast of Virginia. Only Hampton's division guards Richmond, and he's going to come into contact with a heavy force. It's now May 15th, so I think it's a good time to start the attack. And here we are. Here's the battle screen for Trans-Mississippi and Leon's Department of the West. Apparently Standard is still alive. Not sure how, but he's alive. So I have 31,000 versus their 13. This is going to be nothing. I may not even show this battle. It's just, it's whatever. So let me fight it, and then I will come back to the campaign screen. They just stood there like sitting ducks as they were slaughtered, and now we shall see where they retreat to. Of course, we captured the supply depot, so that's always good. We shall have them head that way to capture more of the Confederate towns. They also fixed the rear guard action so that it was not always never ending. Okay, what just happened there? Why did they just teleport all of a sudden? Oh, okay, maybe, whatever. Over here, Siegfried is on his way to Nashville. There is now movement in Virginia. Ooh, the Army of the Potomac has moved. Now they're recruiting. Okay. Maybe it just took a bit. Yeah, they're trying to recruit now. If that's the case, I don't want them attacking Washington. Maybe they're gonna launch an attack into Ohio. I hope not. Just kidding. So that completely nullifies my plan into going into Tennessee. Now I have to defend Ohio at all costs. Go, Siegfried, go. I will try and push them out of the state as best I can. Maybe I can distract them by finally landing over here in Virginia. That may pull them away and get them away from Ohio. What a bold move for the Western Army. Very interesting. As soon as we land here, we're going to build a supply depot. There we go. Now that should trigger them like, oh crap, they are down there. Vote, vote, vote. 38th U.S. Congress to be chosen. Democratic support rising. Lincoln needs a victory. We have had plenty of victories. Oregon votes Republicans. Yeah, so that's the call. How is our national morale? As long as we stay above 60, we're fine. Or national support. Maintain support above 60. Which one? Is it national? Oh, national morale and national support. What's this say? Maintain, blah, blah, blah. Which would be a severe... Maintain political control. It doesn't tell me. So as long as I stay above 60, I should be fine. I have been logging down every single battle that has occurred. Ooh, are they defending that now? Interesting. Are we going to strike them again? No, they're leaving. They're too weak. Get out of here. He's trying to quickly get to Ohio so that he doesn't pull in. And we are fully landed in the peninsula. So let's see how that goes. Trying to get a supply built. I'm going to move them up here. Oh, I forgot to move him. Come on, bud. You gotta command your army. Looks like, well, now I don't know where they are, but I'm still going to head in that direction. I'm just going to keep chasing them. How did they capture that again? I just went through there. Ugh. Fine. They better respond soon. I'm gonna be coming right into Richmond. As soon as I capture that, their support's gonna waver. Slavery prohibited in the territories. U.S. Congress to regulate slavery. Popular sovereignty rejected. Joint effort by Congress and the President. Is that a policy that I did not allow? What just happened? Or was that just a historical newspaper? I think that was just historical newspaper. I was gonna say, I'm not aiming for emancipation yet. Okay, that's fine. Alright, First Corps. Take Virginia. They're not listening. Oh yeah, they're definitely racing. They're like, oh no. Fine. I'll give them time. I'll give them time. Yeah, they're like, oh crap. Hurry, the Richmond. I'll move them up. I believe the army commander can still build that. We took Winchester, Virginia. Great. Oh, engineering education. That's fine. Where is this damn army? Did they flee back into Virginia because of the Richmond crisis? Well, maybe I'll have them continue. I'll have them do the West Virginia quest. Let's get West Virginia going. And I was gonna say we finally kicked them out of Missouri, but Standards Corps left. Not the army commander. This may be the largest fight coming soon. And the supply depot is complete. We'll just have them go right through the Shenandoah Valley. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they don't. They're not prepared. I have launched multiple campaigns at once. We may have this war over by Christmas, ladies and gents. If they would have kept some up here, they could have defended Virginia a lot better, but they all scrambled down to Richmond. So that leaves all of Virginia basically wide open. And this will allow me to create Western Virginia. West Virginia formed. Virginia divided. Union victorious in the mountains. New axis of attack open. Yeah, damn right. That lowers their morale to 67. Everything else is relatively fine. I don't know how they're losing men. They had 106, now they're at 105. So, not sure what's going on there, but we're slowly proceeding. So far, I haven't seen anything here, so maybe scout. If not, I'm just gonna march straight into Richmond. Gotta start building more supply depots. Are they gonna flee up north? Oh, Christ. Okay. And why are towns being taken back? I literally have just captured these towns. What is happening? Ooh, that's annoying. Alright, I'm just gonna do it. I don't think they're doing anything. Richmond falls. Yep, President flees. Southerners in shock. There we go. Where is that? 46. We're getting there. If it's below 25... That took a huge hit for him. Just gotta do a few more stuff. Yeah, I think this campaign is gonna come to a close soon. Now what the AI should do is that they should try and take the capital back. That's the important thing. But so far, nothing. They're gonna wait for First Corps to arrive. Alright, where'd you go? Yep, all the way up there. God damn. If we don't enact any policies that bolster their support and their morale and stuff, I think we can break them. They're not doing anything. Yeah, they're on forced march, so they're gonna try and engage us. I hear lots of marching. Settlers attacked in Minnesota. Okay. So far, nothing is happening. No one wants to attack. But unlike McClellan, in original history, my peninsular campaign worked, and I have taken Richmond, Virginia. And once these armies, this corps meets up with his army, and they get supplies and stuff, I'm going to launch an attack and see how many can I clear out in this area. So until then, this is Bayonet Jack. I'm going to sign off here, and I'll see you in the next video. It may be the last video of this campaign, but nevertheless, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.